12 ugly habits in old age that make people uncomfortable, but no one talks about high voltage. Elder philosophy. Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the art of living well, staying healthy, and embracing the wisdom of our golden years. I'm Dr. Ellen Carter, your friendly guide, a psychologist who spent decades helping people navigate the joys and challenges of life, especially as we age. Today, we're going to have a heart-to-heart about something that's rarely discussed but affects so many of us. 12 ugly habits in old age that make people uncomfortable. These are the things we don't talk about at family dinners or coffee chats, but they're real, and addressing them can transform how we feel and how others perceive us. You see, aging is a beautiful journey. It's a time to reflect, to share our stories, and to live with purpose. But sometimes habits creep in, little things we might not even notice, that can create distance between us and the people we love. These habits aren't about being bad or wrong. They're just patterns that can make others feel uneasy or even push them away. By shining a light on them, we can make small changes that bring us closer to our families, friends, and communities. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's talk openly, like we're sitting in my office together. I'll share stories, examples, and practical tips to help us all live with more grace and connection. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so we can keep these conversations going. Let's dive in. Habit number 1, complaining constantly. Let's start with something we've all encountered, or maybe even done ourselves. Chronic complaining. As we age, it's easy to fall into a pattern of focusing on what's wrong. Aches, pains, the weather, or how the world's changed. I once worked with a patient, George, a 68-year-old retiree. George was a kind man, but every conversation revolved around his back pain, the noisy neighbors, or rising grocery prices. Over time, his friends stopped calling, and even his kids visited less. They loved him, but the negativity was exhausting. Complaining can make others feel drained because it shifts the focus to problems without seeking solutions. In American culture, where optimism is valued, constant negativity can feel like a wet blanket. Instead, try this. For every complaint, share something positive. If your knees hurt, mention how grateful you are for a sunny day to sit outside. It's not about ignoring pain, but balancing it with gratitude. This small shift can make you a magnet for connection. Habit number 2, being overly critical. Another habit that sneaks up is being overly critical. Pointing out flaws in others, whether how your grandkids dress or how your neighbor mows their lawn. I remember Susan, a 72-year-old client, who critiqued everything. Her daughter's cooking, her son-in-law's job, even the pastor's sermons. She thought she was being helpful, but her family started avoiding her. Criticism, especially when it's frequent, can feel like judgment, and it stings. In our 50s, 60s, and beyond, we've earned the right to have opinions. But delivery matters. Try the sandwich method. Say something positive, offer gentle feedback, then end with another positive. For example, if your son's house is messy, say, "I love how cozy your home feels. Maybe I could help tidy up this weekend? You got such a great space." This keeps the conversation warm and collaborative. Habit number 3, talking only about the past. Nostalgia is wonderful, but when every conversation is about the good old days, it can make others feel disconnected. I had a patient, Margaret, who'd spend hours reminiscing about her 20s, her old job, her first car, the music back then. Her grandkids would nod politely, but they couldn't relate. They wanted to share their lives, too, but Margaret rarely asked about their world. Living in the past can signal to others that you're not interested in the present, which can feel isolating. To break this habit, practice curiosity. Ask your kids or grandkids about their hobbies, their favorite shows, or what's trending. Even if TikTok sounds like gibberish, showing interest bridges a gap. You might be surprised how much joy it brings to learn something new. Habit number 4, ignoring personal hygiene. This one's tough to talk about, but it's important. Neglecting personal hygiene. As we age, our senses might dull, or we might not realize how we're coming across. I once counseled a man named Frank, 75, who didn't notice his clothes smelled musty or that he hadn't showered in days. His friends stopped inviting the card games, and he felt hurt not knowing why. In Western culture, cleanliness is tied to respect for ourselves and others. If mobility or memory makes hygiene tricky, set reminders or ask for help. Something as simple as a daily checklist, shower, fresh clothes, deodorant, can make a huge difference. It's not about vanity. It's about showing up for the people you care about. Habit number 5, being stubborn or resistant to change. Stubbornness can creep in as we age, especially when we feel the world's moving too fast. Think of someone who refuses to try a smartphone or insists on doing things the old way. I worked with Clara, 70, who wouldn't use email because letters were better. Her kids struggled to stay in touch, and she felt left out. Being rigid can make others feel dismissed, especially younger generations who value adaptability. Try embracing small changes, like learning to text or trying a new recipe. It doesn't mean abandoning your values. It's about meeting people halfway. Plus, it keeps your mind sharp and shows you're still growing. Habit number 6, oversharing health problems. Health challenges are real in our later years, but talking about them excessively can overwhelm others. I had a client, Tom, 67, who described every doctor's visit in detail, his cholesterol, his colonoscopy, you name it. His friends started dodging his calls, not because they didn't care, but because it felt like too much. In American culture, oversharing medical details can feel intrusive. Instead, share sparingly and focus on solutions. If you're managing diabetes, say, "I'm feeling better since I started walking more," rather than listing every symptom. This keeps conversations uplifting and invites others to share. 2. Habit number 7, interrupting or dominating conversations. As we age, we might feel eager to share our wisdom, but interrupting or talking over others can push people away. I once worked with Helen, 69, who'd cut people off to tell her own stories. She didn't mean to be rude, but her friends felt unheard. Listening is a gift we can give at any age. Practice active listening. Nod, make eye contact, and wait for a pause before speaking. If you're excited to share, say, "That reminds me of something. Can I tell you about it?" This shows respect and keeps the conversation flowing. Habit number 8, being too frugal or stingy. Frugality is a virtue, but when it becomes extreme, like refusing to tip at restaurants or never treating friends, it can make others uncomfortable. I counseled a man named Ed, 73, who'd haggle over every bill and never picked up the tab. His buddies stopped inviting him out, feeling he didn't value their time. In Western culture, generosity, even in small ways, strengthens bonds. You don't need to splurge, but small gestures, like buying a coffee or leaving a fair tip, show appreciation. If money's tight, offer non-monetary generosity, like hosting a game night or sharing your garden's veggies. Habit number 9, holding grudges. Carrying old grudges can weigh us down and make others uneasy. I worked with Diane, 71, who hadn't spoken to her sister in years over a minor disagreement. Her kids felt caught in the middle, and family gatherings were tense. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means freeing yourself. Try writing a letter. You don't have to send it. To process your feelings. Or start small. Say hello to that neighbor you've been avoiding. Letting go creates space for peace and connection. Habit number 10, being overly dependent. Relying too much on others, whether it's constant favors or emotional support, can strain relationships. I had a patient, Robert, 68, who'd call his daughter daily for help with small tasks, like changing a light bulb. She loved him but felt overwhelmed. Independence is valued in American culture, and maintaining it boosts confidence. If you need help, ask thoughtfully and reciprocate when you can. For example, if your son drives you to the doctor, bake him cookies as a thank you. Balance shows you value others' time. Habit number 11, gossiping or spreading negativity. Gossip can feel like harmless chatter, but it can erode trust. I counseled Mary, 70, who loved sharing news about neighbors, divorces, scandals, you name it. Her friends stopped confiding in her, worried she'd spread their stories, too. Instead of gossip, share positive stories or insights. If you hear about a neighbor's struggle, say, "I hope they're okay. Maybe we could check on them." This builds trust and makes you a beacon of kindness. Habit number 12, neglecting gratitude. Finally, forgetting to express gratitude can dim our connections. I work with John, 74, who rarely said thank you to his wife for cooking, his kid for visiting, or his friend for calling. Over time, people felt unappreciated. Gratitude is like oxygen for relationships. Make a habit to say thank you, even for small things. Write a note, send a text, or just smile and say, I really appreciate you. It's a simple way to make others feel valued and keep your bond strong. Well, my friends, we just walked through 12 habits that can creep into our lives as we age, habits that might make others uncomfortable but are rarely talked about. From complaining to neglecting gratitude, these patterns aren't who we are. They're just behaviors we can change with a little awareness and effort. Aging is our chance to shine, to share our wisdom, and to build deeper connections with the people we love. By letting go of these habits, we create space for joy, respect, and understanding. I hope this conversation felt like a warm chat with a friend. If it resonated, try picking one habit to work on this week. Maybe it's saying thank you more or listening a little longer. Small steps lead to big changes. And if you found this helpful, please share it with someone you care about. Let's spread the wisdom together. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Which habit hit home for you? Or what's a tip you've learned for aging gracefully? And if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell so we can keep exploring how to live healthier, happier, and wiser in our golden years. Until next time, take care, stay kind, and keep shining. This is Dr. Ellen Carter, signing off with love and gratitude.